Hello and welcome, Katie here. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Today I'm collabing with my good friend Amanda from Rise and Procraftinate. Amanda and I thought it would be fun to use our pigment powders to create some cards. If you're new here or from Amanda's channel, welcome. I'm excited for you to be here. I hope you'll consider subscribing if you haven't already. Amanda's link is going to be at the top of my description box down below, so be sure and click that link to head on over and watch her video when you're done here. So I'm going to use a bunch of pigment powders. I've got a couple different blues. I'm going to pull in some pinks and purples as we go through the video. The stencil I'm going to use is this one here from Simon Says Stamp. This one gives you that top layer is the whole background. Those two pieces will create that main stencil. I have the Lawn Fawn one that I used in a previous video that I'm going to show you here that you can layer up as well, but you can't use texture paste with it. At least I couldn't. I had a hard time with it. So I'm going to stick with the Simon Says Stamp one because I have the whole background with that. I have some Liquitex Gloss Heavy Gel, which is a glossy, transparent medium. And then I've got Light Modeling Paste, which is a opaque matte paste. I've got a bunch of products here, so you can put perfect pearls, you can put in acrylic paint, you can put in embossing powder into these, you can put glitter, all kinds of things, mica powders. You can add all kinds of things into these mediums to add to your cards, using your stencils. So I'm going to start with the Light Modeling Paste, and it's nice and smooth and fluffy. There's several different pastes. I went with the Light Modeling Paste because it remains flexible, which I find important because I'm using it for card making. So that's the one that I used, and I would recommend based on using it here in the video today. Now I'm going to start with some hot press watercolor paper. The difference between the two, between hot press and cold, is simply in the texture. Cold press is a little bit more textured. Hot press is super smooth. That's it. That's the difference. Now I added some metallic pearl white to the modeling paste, and when I peel the reveal and show you, it's nice and shimmery. You can see that shimmer from the paint, but as the texture paste dries, it becomes matte, so it actually takes away all that shimmer. Now I'm adding in some Judikins embossing powder. It's the Iridescent Sparkle. Again, you could have used glitter, and this is cold press watercolor paper. I was just showing you the texture on that. But I added in this Iridescent Sparkle, and you can see the flecks in there, but it doesn't create any shimmer because the paste is matte. In this case, I would stick with the Gloss Heavy Gel or any of the gels, because those are going to be transparent. They're going to bring out that sparkle and keep that shimmer. So here is that second panel using the modeling paste. Now I'm going to come in with the Gloss Heavy Gel, and I'm going to add in the metallic pearl white, mix that in real good, and then I'm going to take another piece of hot press watercolor paper, put my stencil over top, and in between I had a little dish that I cleaned my stencil off after each use, and so now I'm going to apply that paste gel onto my panel. Now this one was absolutely beautiful. It would be the perfect, like if you wanted to keep the tone on tone white background, that's the stuff right there. The Gloss Heavy Gel I highly recommend. Now I added in again that embossing powder, and it kept its shimmer and the shine from the gloss, but you lost some of the pearl, the metallic paint that was in there. So the panels, once the embossing powder was added, it lost some of the shimmer and shine that it had. So these are the panels. You see a bunch of them there. So this is that Gloss Heavy Gel with just the acrylic paint. The one on the right there was the Light Modeling Paste with just the acrylic paint. These other ones are a mix, and you can tell by the shine is that it's either the paste or the Gloss Heavy Gel. If they're shinier, then those are the ones that were made with the Gloss Heavy Gel because it kept that shine. Now I'm coming in with some Robin's Egg Blue and Nebula Navy, and I use Perfect Pearls in my spray bottle, so it's just clean clear water and the regular Perfect Pearls in a spritz bottle, any spritz bottle, and that's what I use. You can use plain water, it's totally fine. I like a little extra shimmer, and so I like to use the Perfect Pearls with it. This next panel is going to be Plum Blossom and Orchid pigment powders. And my pigment powders are Procyon dyes. They are used for tie-dyeing, and my husband and I do tie-dyes, and that's what I use. So this is our Gloss Heavy Gel panel on our hot press watercolor paper. And this one is Lemon Yellow, Turquoise, and Nebula Navy pigment powders. And for this particular technique, I would stick with the Gloss Heavy Gel because it's kept with the shimmer, and I wouldn't add, and maybe the glitter. I'll have to try it with glitter and see if I get the same result where it kind of dulls out some of that shimmer, because glitter might not do that. Glitter might actually give it more shine. Whereas there just wasn't enough in the embossing powder to do that. So here I mopped up a little bit of the liquid because I had added a little too much. And for this last panel that I'm going to show you, this is Dragon Fruit pigment powder. And the stencil, I think, is from Altenew. I'm not sure because I got it as a freebie and it didn't have a label with it. But it looks like the one from Altenew, so I'll link that up down below. But here's all the panels complete. These two are our first panels. One, as obviously you can tell, is the Gloss Heavy Gel. The other one is the light modeling paste, and these are just a mixture of the two. And if, they all lost kind of their shimmer and shine once that embossing powder was added. So I wouldn't do that again if I wanted to have it sparkly, more shimmery. But this stamp set is from Hero Arts. This is the Peace, Love, and Joy stamp set. And the sentiment's going to read, wishing you peace this season. And I'm going to ink that up 3 times with Versamark ink. I do use this new embossing, powder tool from Cat Scrappiness. It has kaolin clay in it, which is what you need. Kaolin clay is the thing to use to get rid of the static. I had to do this a total of 3 times. Right now I'm stamping on some pearlized vellum. I use this in most of my videos if you look back at my channel, but I've never heat embossed it. I've only die cut or stamped, and you can't heat emboss this. I thought the first one that I did, I'm going to show you here in a second, I thought the first one I did, I had got too close with a gun, but it didn't matter. You just can't heat emboss it. Use it for stamping, regular stamping, and die cutting. Here I used a piece of pearlized vellum. That powder tool was fantastic. So little liquid glue, and I'm just going to put it behind the letters and each of the words. And actually the liquid glue was pretty good. It didn't show through too much on that vellum. That vellum is 48-pound vellum. I get that from Cut Cardstock, and Cut Cardstock actually has, I think it's a 65-pound vellum. When I ordered, last year, they didn't have the 65 pounds, so I'm going to have to get some of that. But my snowflakes are from Spellbinders, or the Yuletide snowflakes, cut out of some glitter cardstock in white and silver. And I'm just using some liquid glue to adhere it down. Now, I adhered everything down, and I'm going to trim that stuff away. I wanted to have it more of a flat panel, but you could certainly leave, those snowflakes popped up a little bit, maybe just glue the centers of them down. This die is from Cat Scrappiness. This is a little set where you get these 2 snowbanks and you get those trees. This was an old inked pigment powder panel that I did over the summer, and I cut out my trees out of. But those trees, the snowbanks, there's a deer and embossing background plate that comes in the set. Really, really good value for all that you get in that set. I'll link that up down below too. So my white cardstock is all accent opaque, 120 pound, really nice heavyweight and good bright white cardstock. All my holographic and foil cardstock for the snowflakes and for my word dies, those come from Michaels. Michaels has come out with some new foil packs of cardstock, and they die cut really, really nicely. This Holy Star comes from Simon Says Stamp. There is a large and a small one. If this one is still available, I know they came out with a new one, so this one might not be available anymore. This Joy die cut also comes from Simon Says Stamp as well. The Tidings of Comfort I stamped up in Memento London Fog, and that Tidings of Comfort and stamp comes from the Waffle Flower Oversized Joy stamp set. The again, Silver Snowflake and this holographic snowflake are the foil is from Michaels, and then the glitter cardstock is from Crafter's Companion. And I did use the shimmer, what's it? The shimmer vellum, the pearlized vellum for the backdrop there. The Big Joy is from the Waffle Flower Oversized Joy die set. My card bases are all A2 size. They are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and they are the 120 pound accent opaque. My inside sentiment comes from Simon Says Stamp. That is the Christmas Wishes stamp set. And the inks that I'm using, I went from gold, silver, sapphire, and ruby. All the Delicata inks were what I use. So the gold went with the piece card, and some of the silver ones went with some of these, like this Joy one. Some of the panels I popped up on foam, some of them I didn't. I cut them, you know, flat to the panel with some double-sided tape. And here's the sapphire Delicata ink. This one is going to have the ruby sapphire, or the ruby Delicata ink. This one will have the silver. This card is a house favorite, as well as this one. Let me know in the description box below which ones you liked. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, click that link in the description box below and head on over to Amanda's channel and check out her video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.